Heads or tails? Bitcoin. What's up? So in this video, I'm going to be giving you 5 reasons why this cycle may be very different. This may very well be the super cycle Bitcoiners have been dreaming of for years. Let's go. Before I begin the video, cheers to all of us that bought back in 2023 and before the bull run started. I know how you feel. We are all doing very good right now, thanks to the increase in price. So before we begin the video, cheers to everyone. All right, so I just want to go over real quick a couple videos that I made in the past. I'm going to show you the dates here and the videos that I made telling you guys to buy Bitcoin. So now that it's at almost 100,000, it rejected right off of 99,500 or something like that, I believe. But I've been telling you guys to buy Bitcoin since forever. And the last major video I made, which is titled "The Best Time to Buy Is Now," and this one I uploaded it September 29 of 2023. So if we go back and check the price, there you go, September 29, 2023. So the price of Bitcoin was 26,700 around there when I made that video. Okay, fast forward from then, we went all the way up to 73,000 earlier this year, and now we went all the way up to 99,500. Yeah, so I've been telling you guys to buy Bitcoin before this run started. All right. Another video that I made is the end of Bitcoin bear markets. That was October 31, 2023. And then I made a couple other little videos this year on Bitcoin. So today's video is going to be on why I think this cycle will be different. Okay. And I'm going to give you 5 different reasons why I think that this time we may see that glorious super cycle that some people have been talking about for many years now. So I think that's what's going to happen this time around. I think it's what's going to happen this cycle, and I'm going to give you 5 reasons. All right, so let's jump right into it. So reason number 1 why this may be the super cycle is because most patterns break after the 3rd attempt. So let's jump into the computer here so I can show you what I mean. So reason number 1 is because the more a pattern meets resistance, the higher the chance of breaking out. So as you can see, usually patterns repeat a 3-step process. So 1, 2, 3, and then usually on the 4th attempt, it usually breaks out either to the upside or to the downside. And this is true for all time frames. So this right here is the weekly. If we go down to the daily, we'll be able to notice some as well. So let's just do this right here, for example. Let's see. So see 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, bam, bounced up from there. Okay, let's find another one. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 4th one, it didn't bounce up that much, and it finally broke below it. Over here we have, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, held support, continued up. Okay, even the last bull run of 2021, I think there's 3 support levels here. I think this one down here. Yep. So see 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th one, it broke below it, went up a little bit more, and then finally broke down. And yeah, and like I said, this is true for all major time frames. Usually it's a 3-step process, and usually on the 4th one it will break. Let's go to the 1 hour so you can see. Let's try and find some here on the 1 hour. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, and then broke down right here. Look at this. This one actually has a little bit more, has 4. But the higher the amount of time it touches resistance or support, the more likely it is to break it. So now we're on about the 3rd or 4th attempt at this bull run. So the point is, I think we're gonna break it this time. And see, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, and then this was the 4th, although it didn't quite make it to the top of the logarithmic chart. Actually, well, yeah, it kind of did up here. But this time we may break it and continue up from there, and that's what I think, because as you can see, the way this logarithmic chart is going is it's what's called decreasing returns, or something in the Bitcoin world where they expect less and less returns every year. However, I see this is it's going to end up breaking it sooner or later. Okay, and it's going to go above this red line. It may not be this year or next year. It may be in 4 years or 10 years. Who knows? But I think eventually it will break this to the upside. You know, I mean, yeah, obviously there's a chance it could break it to the downside, but I think it's much more likely that it's going to break it to the upside. So, okay, that is reason number one. That, you know, the more times a level of support or resistance is hit, the higher the probability of breaking that support or resistance. And that's just a trading law, and it applies, like I said, smaller time frames, even up to bigger time frames. This right here is the weekly or the monthly, and it can apply to the weekly and the monthly as well. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen this time. We're going to reach these levels up here, 180, 100 and about 170 to 250, 300,000. But then eventually we're going to break above it and then go catch that 1 million. All right, so that is reason number one. Reason number two is because we've never had such high institutional adoption and country government adoption, known as state adoption. These are the main money holders of the world, okay? So this is the final one. Once you have the richest companies in the world and the richest governments in the world buying Bitcoin, what more do you want? You know, like this is, you know, this is the super cycle. Now, whether it's going to happen, like I said, this year, next year, we're not sure, but there's a high probability it's going to start, and it is starting now, as we can see, because the bull run started. And because President Trump won, so that's going to accelerate everything a little bit more, a little bit faster. So I think this is it, guys. I think this is the super cycle a lot of people have been talking about for many years. Like I said, you know, the biggest holders of money in the world are starting to buy Bitcoin. Biggest companies and governments and countries. So, you know, I believe, you know, we are going to have sell-offs, obviously, because every type of asset, you know, sells off, of course. But I don't think the sell-offs are going to be as strong. Okay, so usually, let's go back to the regular chart here. Let's go back to one of the first major bull runs. This was ended in 2013. All right, so let's see. So this, at the end of this bull run, the price went back down to, okay, so the price dropped below the 76% on the fib. So I think this was about like an 85 to 90% retracement over here. Okay, that was the first bull run. This is the 2017, 16, 17 bull run. Let's see what this one did. So the lowest point was right here. Let's take it all the way to the top. So this one also had, yep, it went below the 78% retracement on the fib. So I would say about an 80, 85% as well on this one. Then we have the 2021 bull run. Let's put it from the lows over here all the way to the top, which was in November. And yep, once again, we had about a 80% retracement. So a little bit less every single year, about 80% here. So what I'm saying is that I think this time, you know, let's see what price we get to. But what I believe is that we're not going to have these retracements that big anymore. Okay, I think this time we may come down to these levels, around the 50 to 61.8 maximum is what I think is going to happen this time around. So if we get to 150 or 180 or 250, we're going to retrace to about these levels, which seems fine because that's around 70,000. That's where we were holding resistance here. So yeah, it makes perfect sense to me if we would fall back down to about 80, 67. So we'll see. But yeah, that is the second reason why I think this one will be the super cycle. All right, so reason number three is because the Bitcoin ETFs were approved this year, early 2024, actually January to be exact of 2024. And I'm going to show you what happened back in 2004 when the gold ETFs were first approved. Okay, so gold ETFs were first approved back here in, I have the date marked here. It was in November of 2004. And look at this crazy bull run all the way to the top. We had about a 7-year bull run non-stop with, you know, slight corrections along the way. So after the gold ETFs were approved, you can see here we had one major retracement down to the 61.8. Then up here we had another retracement, didn't quite reach the 61.8, reached 50%, almost 61.8. And then from then on, very small retracements for the next few years till 2011. So this is the type of bull run that I'm expecting now for Bitcoin. So this bull run right here for gold after the ETFs were approved was 2,492 days. That's about 6-7 years. So I don't think we're gonna have a non-stop bull run for 6-7 years with Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin is going to keep going up forever as long as the network stays strong. But I think we're gonna have a pretty big correction later on, just like this happened with gold here afterwards for a few years. But I think that for Bitcoin, I'm assuming we're gonna have at least a Bitcoin run half as long as. So if this was 7 years, I believe we're going to have at least a 3 to 4 year bull run nonstop with just small 50 to 61.8 corrections along the way. That's what I think is going to happen in this super cycle that I'm telling you I think is going to happen. So let's go to the Bitcoin chart and map that. And I already mapped it here for you guys a little bit earlier today. So the Bitcoin ETFs were approved January 2024. Okay, so this blue box that I have here is 3.5 years from that date. That's assuming we run for half of the time that that gold ran for after the ETFs were approved. So that would put us to a end of bull run of around June 2027. Now we may just see a slight fall here. Then in 2028 we're gonna have the next halving. So we may continue price going up from there slightly, maybe not as much as previous bull runs, since I believe, by 2028, I think the Bitcoin price will be around $1 million by then, by 2027, 2028. So we'll see. It's not guaranteed. Maybe 500 to $1 million is highly likely is what I think for 2027, 2028. Okay, so that is reason number 3. Reason number 4 is because if all these governments and companies start using Bitcoin as a reserve asset, okay, the first market cap that Bitcoin is going to overtake is gold. And gold is at about 18 trillion right now. So if Bitcoin reaches $18 trillion market cap, that's going to put the price at about $800,000 to $900,000 for one Bitcoin. So that's almost right there at the million. Also, I believe since Bitcoin is so easily acquirable by just buying it on exchanges, it's not as hard as buying like gold or buying real estate. That's why I think the adoption of Bitcoin is going to be way faster than all these other assets. So I believe there's a lot of money that's going to be pouring out of gold investors into Bitcoin. There's a lot of money that's going to be pouring out of real estate investors into Bitcoin because Bitcoin doesn't require as much work and maintenance as real estate does. Although with real estate, you do get passive income from renting to tenants, but you're also taxed, and it does come with a lot of work as well. So I do believe a lot of money will go from real estate to Bitcoin. I also believe a lot of money is going to flow from stocks and bonds into Bitcoin. And along with that, M1 money that's saved in people's bank accounts. I believe a lot of people will start, investing their saved, US dollars or fiat currency from whatever country into Bitcoin rather than keeping it in savings accounts. So I think that's the M1 money supply. A lot of that will go to Bitcoin as well. And for the final, reason number 5. So reason number 5 is that I believe a lot of altcoins are going to bleed into Bitcoin. Time passes on, people, the altcoins aren't going to perform as well as they used to in the past. And people are going to start pouring their money out of altcoins, and they're going to be de-risking, and they're going to be placing more and more money just into Bitcoin. I believe all the altcoins will continue having bull runs similar to Bitcoin with huge peaks and huge drawdowns. This may continue because it's more speculation. Bitcoin will just be looked at more as like, a safe haven, way to save your money. So it's not going to be as volatile it's not going to go up and down as much. It's not going to have those crazy drawdowns like a lot of these altcoins. It's going to have less and less drawdowns over time after the bull runs. But the altcoins I do believe will continue, most of them, not all of them. Most of them, almost all of them, will continue to have big drawdowns compared to Bitcoin, and a lot of them will just go to zero at the end. Only the ones that actually provide a true value will stick around. And so the prices of those altcoins, I believe, will depend on how much value, how much money each of those companies is generating per year, and what problems they're solving. But like I said, I do believe a lot of the money from all these altcoins will go to Bitcoin as more and more people learn about Bitcoin and understand it, and prefer having their money in a safer store of value. And the reason for that is because I believe Bitcoin is the only asset that a lot of people are willing to hold forever. You don't see anybody talking about holding Ethereum forever or Solana or XRP. I mean, some people, yes, some people do say that, but the reality is I don't think they're willing to hold it forever. I think they're, it's more, they're trying to make money, trying to make, waiting for the price to go up and sell and then buy at lower prices. But the only actual place where most people will actually can easily say that they will hold it forever is Bitcoin. And the reason for that is because it's the only fully decentralized, it has the most adoption, requires proof of work, easy to store and protect your funds, and because the hash rate is so powerful, making the network that much stronger. And because of all the other reasons that makes Bitcoin Bitcoin. All right, everyone, so those are 5 reasons why I think this may very well be the SuperCycle that we've all been waiting for. Hopefully I look back on this video in a few years and say that I was right about it, but we'll have to wait around and see. So that's all for this video, everyone. Go ahead and destroy that like button if you enjoyed the video. Comment down below and let me know what you think about this bull run. And that's all for this video. I'll catch you in the next one. As always, peace.